Corporation of Greater Mumbai. I am Monali Shankar from Ashar Public School, and today I am going to teach history subject. In that history subject, today's topic is states after the Maurya Empire. Let's begin. Our first main concept of is the Shung dynasty. After Maurya power, after Ashoka, Maurya power started declining. Here, the word declining is means that after Ashoka, Maurya power becomes decreasing. The strength or their strength of Maurya Empire became decreasing. Then the last Maurya emperor was called Brihadrath. It means the name of the emperor who was the last Maurya emperor. And we all know that yesterday we have learned about uh, that Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Maurya Empire, and the last Maurya emperor is Brihadrath. The Maurya general Pushpamitra Shunga rebelled against Brihadrath, killed him, and became the king himself. The Maurya general Pushpamitra. Here the name, Maurya general is given. Pushpamitra, who who was um, who was revolted. Again, the revolted. Here the word revolted means having rebelled. Rebelled means the Pushpamitra was became against of the who's to the Brihadrath. It means that Pushpamitra fought against Brihadrath, and then in that war, what happened? Pushpamitra killed to the Brihadrath and became the king himself. See, this is peak of Shunga dynasty from 185 BC to 75 BC. BC means before a common era, before the birth of Christ. Let's see the map of Shunga Empire. This is the map of Shunga Empire. See here, the orange shaded part shows the Shunga Empire. Here, what is given? The This empire includes Ujjain, Kasu, then Patliputra, and then Vidisha, and so many, or Sanchi, so many additions to the empire. Let's see about the art of Shunga Empire. The period saw The period saw a flowering of the visual arts, including small terracotta images, larger stone sculptures, and architectural monuments. The period saw It means that in the Shunga period, the period saw different kinds of arts. It means the visualization of arts became changed. It shows a flowering of the visualizing arts. After that, in that period, terracotta images were used. Again, large stone sculpture. Here, see the large stone sculpture. For example, the great stoop at Sanchi. It is the large stone sculpture example. Then architecture monuments is there. Monuments means one kind of statue or structure. Through different kinds of ways, the art of the Shunga Empire becomes shown. See in this pic, there is a lady is shown, and there is a one. stone, and there are so many flowering of the visual arts are shown. Let's see about the Indo-Greek kingdom. The history of the Indo-Greek kingdom covers a span 2nd century BCE. BCE means before Common Era, to the beginning of the 1st century CE in northern and northwestern India. Northern means here. This is the north, and this is the northern area regions. Then after that, there were 30 Indo-Greek kings, often in competition on different territories. Territories. Many of them are only known through their coins. See, in the history of the Indo-Greek kingdom, what is given that kingdom was started from the 2nd century to the beginning and of the 1st century of CE to the northern area. Again, there there were more than 30 kings were in the competition of different territories. Different to the different regions, there are so many kings were fought with each other. Many of them are only known through their coins. That in that Indo-Greek kingdoms, kings were known by their coins only. We have learned yesterday that how was the coins were built up. There is a once on the one side of that coin there is a face of the king was mentioned, and on the other side there is a picture of the god is given. So through this way, so many kings of the Indo-Greek were recognized by their coins only. See, in this in this map, what is given, the blue shaded area shows us about the Indo-Greek kingdoms. Those kings are known as Indo-Greek kings. So these are the kings which are which are known by their coins. These are known as Indo-Greek kings. Let's see about the a silver coin of Menander. It is the name of a what we say emperor. In the history of the coins of ancient India, the coins of these kings are very important. In ancient India, coins of the ancient India were very important. They had a tradition of putting the picture of the king on one side and that of a deity on the other side. Here it is given. We already seen about the Alexander silver coins also. On that Alexander's silver coin, what is given on the one side, there is a face of the Alexander's mentioned on the one side, and on the other side, there is a picture of a god. Like that only, in Indo-Greek kingdoms, what is given, there how the coins are presented. On the one side, there is a king, picture of king, and on the other side there is a picture of god. Here deity is a word is given. It means the creation, creator, creator. It means creator, it means god or goddess. Great King Menander, who is Buddhist philosophy with the Buddhist bhikkhus Nagsena. It means the Menander, the king who is Buddhist philosophy, who believes in the Buddhism, and he was discussed with the Buddhist bhikkhus Nagasen. Menander is also known as Milinda. Menander is also known as Milinda. There is a nickname for the Menander. Questions that he discussed with Bhikkhu Nagsena led to the creation of the book Milinda Panna. It means the king Minadar and the Bhikkhu Nagsena were discussed to each other. That time, what happened? The questions which are asked by the Minadar to the Bhikkhu Nagsena, that questions are led to the creation of the book. Which book? That is the Milinda Panna. The word, this is the word. The Panna means what? Here the Panna means question. The word, the Panna, which is in Pali language, and it means the question. So those questions which was asked by the Menander, the king, that questions makes or leads the a book, that is Milind Panna. Let, let's see a short video on the King Minadar.
And to give them a cinematic view of his throne. We all know Alexander the Great and his expeditions in the Indus Valley region, but very few of us know a legend called Menander I Soter. He was a Greek king of an Indo-Greek empire from 165 BC to 130 BC. Menander was born to a Greek royal family in Alexandria or Caucasus. A general of Demetrius II, he started his own empire after his death. His reign started from Bactria, and from there he started expanding by conquering areas of present-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, including the purpose behind this channel is 130 BC. Menander was born to a Greek royal family in Alexandria of Caucasus. Initially a general of Demetrius II, he started his own empire after his death. His reign started from Bactria, and from there he started expanding by conquering areas of present-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, parts of Iran, outskirts of present-day India, including Punjab, Haryana, and parts of Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat. As per many ancient Indian writers, Menander had even launched successful expeditions into Rajasthan and as far as the capital of the Mauryan Empire, Patliputra, present-day Patna. Though till this time, the Mauryan Empire did not hold the might it once did. As for the Greek geographer Strabo, he conquered more tribes even than that of Alexander the Great. His army was well equipped and used massive siege engines to break strong fortifications. An account of the same has been mentioned in one of the ancient chronicles of the by Menander during the conquest of Patliputra, present-day Patna. But Menander did not continue his expedition for long and had to leave his campaigns midway so as to protect his empire's northwest borders from Euphrates I. Menander I Soter ruled for a long 35 years, and his reign was successful. Generous findings of coins testify to the prosperity and extension of his empire. His rule was accompanied with numerous battles, but successfully defended his empire and expanded it at the same time. Later, he adopted Buddhism. History started to know him as Milind. After rule of 35 years, he retired and announced his son Strato I as the new king of his empire. However, certain other historians died on a military campaign. After his death, his empire started to lose its charm, and Chocras proclaiming themselves as independent kings. And his empire's area got restricted to present-day Sialkot and parts of Punjab.
So we have seen a short history on the King Minadar, uh, how he uh, how he gives his contribution to the his kingdom,
The purpose
and
behind this
what are
channel.
the changes for this.
The purpose behind this.
Let's see the next point, that is silver coin of Indo-Greek Empire. Here the king Menador is the most famous of the Indo-Greek kings due to number of reasons. There are so many reasons why the king Menador was so famous, and we have seen that reasons in the video also. Apart from the literacy sources, Minador is also famous for his coins, which are found in large numbers in various parts of the northern and western India. It means that we also know the Minadors for the purpose of their coin. See, this is a coin, example of coin. The on the first side, what is given? The king. The pic of king is given, and on the other side there is a pic of deity. Deity means the pic of a god. This is the pic of god is given. Pic means picture of a god. So these silver coins of Indo-Greek empires was very famous, and because of these coins also the king Minadar is also known. Let's see about the Milinda Panna. And the word Panna, it means the question, and the word Panna it is in Pali language. Lively dialogue on the Buddhist doctrine with the questions and dilemmas posed by King Milinda. That is that is Minadar, Greek ruler of a large Indo-Greek empire in the late 2nd century BCE, and answered by Nagasen, a senior monk. It means that this book, this Milinda Panna questions, these Milinda Panna questions, which was asked by the King Minandar, and answers given by the senior monk. Monk means bhikkhus of the Nagsena. The questions put by King Minadar to the monk Nagsena cover a wide range of subjects such as nature of self, wisdom and desire, transmigration, karma, and Buddha as a historical figure, the Buddhist order, the qualification of monks, and the respective roles of monks and lay people, and nirvana. It means that the which kind of questions asked by by the king Vinayadar to the Nagsena. That question, it means that questions are as follows. For example, the king asked about the nature of self, about the wisdom and the desire, about the karma, and about the Buddha as a historical figure, and so many other questions also. And all these questions answer given by the Buddhist Nagsena. Let's see about the Kushana kings. Kushanas invaded from Central Asia. Kushana, uh, wait, Kushana invaded from Central Asia. After that, Kushana was established the rule in the northwestern region and in Kashmir in the 1st century CE. See, in this area, Kushanas established uh, their region. Firstly, they established here. Latterly, they were expand their regions like this only. The Kushana kings were the first to start minting of gold coins in India. See, this is the main important point. The Kushana kings were the first to start minting of gold coins in India. Till this moment, what happened in India? There is a coin that coins were present in a silver coins were present, but now in from the Kushana kings, what happened? They they were started to use the gold coins in India. Again, they started to custom of putting the image of Gautam Buddha and different Indian deities on the coins. See, starting on the silver coins, what happened? The picture of uh, kings was mentioned, but now on these coins, what happened? The picture of Gautam Buddha was mentioned, and on the other side, the picture of God and Goddess was mentioned. See, here this is the picture of Kushana Empire, picture of or map of Kushana Empire, and on this empire, this a region shows the Kushana kings expanding areas. Let's see about the Emperor Kanishka. Under Kanishka, the Kushans spread their boundaries to include the area of present-day Afghanistan, northern India, and parts of Middle Asia. This is the Emperor Kanishka who spread his expand his ruling area from the uh, from nowadays that area we called as Afghanistan, northern India, and the parts of Middle Asia. Kanish's empire extended from Kabul in the east to Varanasi in the east. The Kanish Empire from the Kabul to the Varanasi in the east. Gold and copper coins minted by him have since founded in North India. In Kanish's Empire, what happened? The gold and copper coins were minted by the other kings. He is famous for his military, political, and spiritual achievements. He, he is very famous for the military, political, and spiritual achievements, success. Kanishpur in Kashmir, the fourth Buddhist council was held in Kashmir during his reign. During the during whose reign during the Kanishk reign means during his period. What happened? The fourth Buddhist council. During Kanishk period, fourth Buddhist council was held in Kashmir, and he also established the city of Kanishpur in Kashmir. He established a new city of Kanishpur in Kashmir. It is believed that the village of Kampur near Srinagar today could be Srinagar today could be Kanishpur. This is the picture of the Kanishpur of that Kashmir. Let's say about the Buddha Charitra. Poet Ashwaghosh lived during the reign of Kanishka. In the period of Kanishka, what happened? The poet Ashwaghosh lived, and in that period, he wrote the text Buddha Charitra and Vajra Suchi. This is the pic of Buddha Charitra book, and these two literature wrote by the Ashwaghosh. Acts of the Buddha Charitram, in Devanagari, Buddha Charitram is an epic poem in the Sanskrit Mahakavya style on the life of Gautam Buddha by Ashwaghosh, composed in early 2nd century CE. Of the poem, 28 cantos and the first 14 are extant in Sanskrit complete. It means that the Buddha Charitra is epic poem which is describe about the life of Gautam Buddha. The famous Vedya Chakra was also in Kanishk courts. So these are the art, these are the literature that is Buddha Charitra and Vajrasuchi was established or in the period of Kanishka. Let's say about the gold coin of Kushana Empire. This is the example of gold coin of Kushana Empire. Kanishka's gold coin, it was minted by Emperor Kanishka. It has the words Shao, Nao, and Kanishki, Kushano on one side. That word's meaning is king of king. It means that among all the kings there is a one main kings, like that. Then Emperor Kanishka Kushana on the other side. There is an image of Gautam Buddha and word Bodo is mentioned. That Bodo's meaning is Buddha, written in Greek script. See, this is the pic of a king, picture of a king, and here mentioned is the king of king. Again, what happened on the other side? What is given? The picture of Gautam Buddha is mentioned, and here the Bodo is written. Bodo means the Buddha, and here see here something is written at the corner of the coin. That shows the king of kings, Emperor Kanishka Kushana. This kind of gold coins were present in Kushana Empire. Let's see about a short video on the Kushana Empire.
The Kushans. In this module, you will learn about the history of the Kushan Empire and the administration and contribution of the ruler, Kanishka. The Kushans, after the Mauryas, are an important dynasty of India. The Kushans were a nomadic tribe descended from Yuchi, which had migrated to India from Central Asia. The Kushans defeated the Sankans and the Parthians, the other foreign communities settled in the northwestern part of India, and settled in the Gandhar region. Kujula capitals united tribes under one leadership. During the Hindu-Kush range, Kujula capitals settled in Kabul and Kashmir. The noteworthy kings of the Kushan dynasty are Bhima Kadphises and Kanishka. The Kushans have greatly influenced Indian history and culture. The gold coins as a medium of exchange were brought out during the reign of Bhima Kadphises. The Gandhara form of sculpture has flourished during the time of the Kushan dynasty. Kanishka's rule began in 78 AD and gave way to a new era called Shaka era. The Kushan dynasty prospered greatly during Kanishka's reign. The Kushans.
So this is a short video on the Kushana Empire, and uh, in, and let's begin about the recapitulation. Recapitulation is it means the questions which are based on the which are based on the concept which I taught right now only. So my first question is, who was the last Maurya emperor? First one option is Brahandrath, and second one is the Pushpamitra. Yes, anyone can tell? Any student? Think about that. Who was the last Maurya emperor? Yes, first option Brahandrath, and the second. Very good, very nice, beta. Brahandrath. The first option is the correct, and we all know that Chandragupta Maurya, who was founded the Maurya Emperor. Correct? Sorry, Maurya Empire. So next one, second question, who was known as Milinder? Who was known as Minador or Mahendra?
Mahen,
Mahendra,
Milander,
think again, beta.
Milan,
Minander. Okay, very good. Very good. Minander. And Mahendra, who was the Mahendra? The son of Mahendra. Yes, the Ashoka's son Mahendra. Okay. Third question. What is mean by Panna?
question,
What is mean by Panna? Question. Very
question,
good. And the Panna is a word which is in Pali language. Very good. My fourth question. Who were the first to start the minting of gold coins in India?
Kushana,
Who were the first?
Kushana
Very good.
King,
Very nice. Gold coin. Very good, beta. Very nice. Kushana kings. My last question. Where was the fourth Buddhist council held? Kashmir or
Kashmir,
Varanasi? Very good. Very nice.
Kashmir,
Kashmir. In the Kashmir, the fourth Buddhist council held. Very good. Let's see about the assignment. There are 5 questions for the assignment. First one is write a short note on the Shunga dynasty. Second one, discuss and write about Emperor Kanishka. Third one, who was Minadar? Give details about him. Fourth one, who wrote Buddha Charitra? And the fifth one, what is, these are 5 questions to all the students for the assignment. Find out the answers of these 5 questions. Okay. So thank you
thank you,
all
ma'am.
the students and all team. Welcome, beta.